Well, after watching the movie Weapons from Zach Kreger, or is it Krieger? I think it's Kreger. We're going to go with Kreger. Well, I had to watch the preceding film that he did called Barbarian. And right off the bat, I'll tell you, Barbarian is not as good as Weapons. I think Weapons is the better of the two. But Barbarian is pretty good. I mean... oh, jeez. Again, it's horrible what happens and everything, but there's still a comedic tinge to it here and there. I understand Zach Kreger he came out of comedy and ends up doing these horror movies. But the similarities in it, it leads you one way, you think this is what it is, and then suddenly, whoa, no, it's not that, and so on and so forth. And then one is it this, is it that kind of thing, which, Weapons does as well. Even the story structure kind of jumps around. You have to flash back to years ago to this house, which concerns the story. And, oh boy, how did it all begin? And you get a little tour of how that happened. And, oof, boy, it's, and then you jump to yet another character story midway. You're introduced to this girl who's going to stay at this Airbnb that she booked online, and she's coming to Detroit for this job, and she has to work with this filmmaker and all this stuff. So she got this place probably because it was really cheap, and she arrives at night in the rain and everything, and then she gets there and there's someone else staying at the place, and it's this just mess up. Both of them had rented the place for the time, and the company dealing with the properties of renting them out was really crappy and allowing who can book it at which time and whatnot. Gave it to both of them when it was in conflict, but whatever, there they are, and the guy ends up inviting her to stay in there. And of course, what's going to happen? Okay. But that's the opening premise. It shifts, of course, like I said, to a flashback to tell you about what deep into the movie. By the time you get to that point, you're aware of quite a few things here that's far beyond what it appears, and so then you meet a third character and so on, and that's where some of the comedy begins with this other guy who comes into the picture, and it's kind of left ambiguous there about his ordeal of what he's facing. And is he you find out the true nature of his character as it goes. But the ultimate horror here is there's some sympathies, somewhat. It's sad, but oh my God, is it monster? And all this. So I don't know how to. So I'm trying not to spoil it all. I guess at this point, if you don't want to know all of it, maybe stop at this point. I don't want to go into all the. There's something more to the house. And try to even say it's not supernatural, so I'll give you that one. It's not. Although, you do evil things, and you never know what forces you unleash. And as for Barbarian, why the title? Weapons, ultimately, I suppose some are still confused, perhaps, why it's called that. I'm not. But Barbarian it has to come into the nature of just, it's barbaric, and the terrible crimes committed here. But initially, I suppose the origin point of the character who sets this off is the barbarian. But it's also the nature of what lies beneath the house, and you're getting to, essentially a dungeon. So I guess it owes to that for the origins of the title, and that's how it plays through. It's all very well performed and acted. I don't know. I think it lays the groundwork for what Weapons becomes as far as story structure goes, and how it kind of breaks up in sort of these chapters within the movie. So it's not bad. It's really good. I just think between the two, Weapons is probably a little bit better. But nevertheless, like I said, absolute horror. It's very scary of all the things that unfold. It does deceive you and leads you down a path, and you're so sure it's this, and then suddenly it isn't. And that kind of thing, which is always, if you can pull that off, that's a good thing, because you don't want, well, here we go. Okay, don't go in there. Oh, you're going in there. Don't do, and then the monster comes, or the killer, or whatever. And, and then it's like, it's up to the charm of the performers or something like that to sell the thing. Because I've seen too many horror movies, and that kind of thing. Whereas here, a little misdirect, can go a long way. And that sort of plays out here, and it's just like it gets crazier and crazier as it goes. Not unironically, deeper and deeper into the madness, and boy does it. And so there is that, going for it. And then suddenly, a third act, if you will, to this other, I would say poor bastard, but that's spoiling a bit. He's not all that sympathetic at the end, but it's a great horror movie. It's really great. It's just, the impetus for me to check it out was because of Weapons, and I would have to give Weapons the nod more. It seems, I don't know, it just seems structured a little better in a lot of the same way. But that's just, and that's just my own approach to it. Other people probably totally disagree with that and think Barbarian's better, and it gets more into the subjective of it. But both are very solid and strong films. And so it's, I watched it on Netflix. I think it said it's about to leave. So I don't know if you have Netflix. You can hurry up and check it out if you have it. I don't know. Maybe at the end of the month it's gone. I don't know exactly the cutoff date. But if you haven't seen it, you like horror movies, well, check it out.